Shout out to y'all that's in this motherfucker, bro. Ted, what's good? I'm talking about numbers is looking very, very motherfucking low right now. Ted was good. Ted was good. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to both of y'all. I don't know. Numbers looking very low. You know what I'm saying? Shoe program was good. Well, why is it only 7 motherfuckers in here? Cause I ain't really getting no notification. I ain't getting no notification for YouTube that I was live anyway. So I'm trying to see what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? Krista was good. Let me get my camera right. Like my shit don't feel like it's right. Like it's off a little bit or some shit. You know what I'm saying? You say you chilling Jake out the road. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm trying to figure out like what's going on with the notification system tonight. You know what I'm saying? You two with the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's only 9 people in this motherfucker. I ain't went live today. This is not my second time going live where they wouldn't send no notification out. So but shout out to y'all who in here. You know what I'm saying? Did anybody get a notification? You say you ain't see it either. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know what the fuck going on. I ain't see it either. So usually I get it to my phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, such and such going live, but shit, it didn't show up. So hopefully people will fall into this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they'll open up the app and they'll see a nigga live. You know what I'm saying? Pull up. Cause it's no way we rocked out last night with 300 people in this motherfucker and now we got 12. It's no way possible. You know what I'm saying? Unless YouTube got to want to freeze and it froze up their motherfucking computer system. But tonight, bro, we're gonna look into another case, you know what I'm saying, that took place. Tick, you know what I'm saying? YSL Tick is the 8th member, YSL member to Snitch. I'm just saying, clean cut, straight to the point, what it is, shit. You know what I'm saying? He the 8th motherfucker to Snitch. Terry said they hate. You two definitely hating. Hey, you two definitely motherfucking hating. That's what to do. You know what I'm saying? They definitely hate. So, all right, so YSL Tick is the 8th person. J Beats, what's good? So we got people following this motherfucker slowly. 8th person to snitch. You know what I'm saying? Basically to get himself out of jail, decide to say that he was gonna snitch on YSL. I wonder if when these niggas snitching or agreeing to snitch, are they saying like we not snitching on Thug, we snitching on YSL? You know what I'm saying? I wonder if they saying that shit in their head because these niggas are not educational wise, they're left behind. You know what I'm saying? This nigga YSL Tick, this nigga got his GED. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna show the beginning of his trial when he was basically the judge was questioning him, asking if he understand shit because he really want to understand the shit. And he was asking, like he was saying that, and his attorney or the public defender, she was trying to explain to him what they was asking, and you know what I'm saying, so he can answer the shit. But we're gonna get into it. We're gonna let them read off his charges. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna get into the other niggas, you know what I'm saying, that I'm proud of from YSL that didn't motherfucking snitch today. We got 2 more niggas that went to trial. They didn't snitch, you know what I'm saying? Key was good. So look, hey, so what I'm gonna do, since it ain't that many motherfuckers, I'm gonna let y'all make the decision on how we gonna go. Y'all wanna see the nigga snitch first? And then, you know what I'm saying, kind of uplift our spirits with the nigga that didn't snitch? Or do y'all wanna see the niggas that did snitch? You know what I'm saying? And then we do a finale of a nigga being a bitch ass nigga snitching. You know what I'm saying? Like it's on y'all. How I'm gonna let y'all make the decision. Y'all put in the chat. You know what I'm saying? 1 for snitch, 2 for not snitching. You know what I'm saying? Which video y'all want to see first? What trial we gonna go over first? I'm gonna let y'all pick that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give y'all time. Y'all let me know what y'all want to do. Don't sit there and don't nobody say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what it is. Do I need to do a countdown? Ma, what it do, my nigga? Terry said she want to see the nigga snitch. Mom said he want to see the nigga that didn't snitch. Nessa said she want to see the nigga that didn't snitch either. Come on, rest of y'all motherfuckers. More than 2, 3 motherfuckers in her shit. Say something. You been this motherfucker ghost watching. And a lot of you motherfuckers, I got it so you motherfuckers can't type unless you subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of you motherfuckers probably can't type right now. You know what I'm saying? Hondo, what it do? He said, you want to see the nigga snitching? Terry said, get the snitching out the way. Damn, so that's 3-3. So Chris said he want to see the nigga that didn't snitch. So that's 3-3. Can we get a tiebreaker in this bitch? The next motherfucker that answers, get a tiebreaker, man. See a nigga snitch or see the nigga that didn't snitch. Shit. And that's how we gonna rock with it. If your ass in here ghost watching, get the fuck out. If you can't type, I don't give a damn. I'm not a motherfucker that give a damn about views or how many people sitting here watching. I just hate the fact my notification didn't go out. But if you're not gonna interact, why the fuck are you in here? You ain't interacting with me. You ain't interacting with the chat. Why the fuck are you in here? You know what I'm saying? Go watch somebody else shit where you can sit back like y'all be in church and just, you know what I'm saying, your arm folded and just sit there and watch it. If you're not gonna interact, don't have your ass in here. You know what I'm saying? So there's 2 more for snitching. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get the snitching shit out the way, and then we're gonna end it out with 2 solid niggas that didn't motherfucking snitch. You know what I'm saying? Relentless one was good. Let's make sure I got the audio and everything queued up. You know what I'm saying? The snitching one, so let's watch this nigga snitch. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna start like right where they reading off his charges, and this is after they ask him, hey, bam, do you understand everything that's going on? Do you want us to read the indictments? No, I don't want you to read the indictments. It take too long. Do you understand that we're not forcing you to snitch? He answered them questions. All that shit get answered. That's the only thing y'all done missed so far. Right now, we at the point where they finna read off his goddamn charges and everything that he agreed to, you know what I'm saying? Jersey, what's good, man? Ugly ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm my mom, you know how I am, bro. If you I like to have fun. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go subscribe to my channel, bro. You know what I'm saying? Mom, only you see him in the chat, click on the name, go subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? McFly, holler at my nigga David McFly, go holler at him. Hey, you know how I do, Mom, you know how I do. I like to have fun. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't over here trying to have fun and enjoy yourself and interact to have fun, man, what the fuck you here for? I ain't no clown. I ain't no damn. No, this ain't no movie screen for you to sit here and chill and shit, man. That's what we here for. You enjoy this shit by interacting, by voicing your opinion and shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, I could put that shit on the screen and I could talk back to you and shit. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't doing that shit, then what the fuck you here for?
Shall constitute a violation of this agreement. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that you shall testify truthfully about all matters relating to this case upon which you are questioned at any trial or judicial proceeding stemming from the facts alleged in this indictment?
Yes.
Do you understand that in accordance with testifying truthfully about all matters related to this case, you acknowledge that each and all the statements contained within the defendant's factual acknowledgments portion of this agreement are true, and that you will testify truthfully about those statements and any matters related to this case when asked to do so?
Yes.
Do you understand as a special condition, you shall possess no guns unless your right to do so is restored?
Yes.
That you should also submit to random drug screens by the Department of Community Supervision and any agency designated by this court?
Yes.
That you shall commit no criminal acts?
Yes.
And that you will relinquish any Fifth Amendment right related to any statement contained within the defendant's factual acknowledgments contained within this plea agreement, and you will make no attempt at trial to assert a Fifth Amendment privilege when questioned on these matters. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that some of the factual acknowledgments that you acknowledge is, one, that Young Slime Life, aka YSL, is an organization made up of 3 or more members or associates who share common identifiers that include but are not limited to colors, hand signals, and terminology, who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL. Is that one of your acknowledgments?
Yes.
Do you also acknowledge?
Now, again, before we get deep into this shit, man, look here. Before we get deep into this shit, because, hey, Mob, they can't plead the fifth, and they can't change they plea from not guilty. You know what I'm saying? They cannot change nothing they saying, or they get 35 years or more. You know what I'm saying? So, you said, is this the same lady from last time? No, JB, this ain't this. I don't think this is the same lady. I don't think so. I don't think this is the same lady. I don't know. They really haven't shown. I think this is another lady. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Don't make me lie. Shit. I don't know. But, bruh, it seems like the first thing that they making them admit is that YSL a gang. They like, if you want to snitch, you know what I'm saying? You say he don't sound as dumb as the last nigga down, because the last nigga dropped down 10th grade. This nigga got his GED. He dumb. He just ain't as dumb as the last nigga, like you said. But I'm trying to understand, like, the first, what I've noticed, I ain't gonna say what I'm trying to understand. What I've noticed, they made every one of them say that the YXL is a gang. They made everybody say that shit. That's so they can get through it. You know what I'm saying? That's so they can get through it. But what they doing is See, these other niggas, them niggas probably didn't have Thug number, wasn't even close to Thug, probably wasn't in his presence like that, wasn't around him. But this nigga Tick was. You know what I'm saying? And the evidence, the shit that he's snitching on would show that. You know what I'm saying? They got his word that he was around, and they have evidence that he was in a group message with Thug and shit.
Now that you were one of the founding members of Young Slime
He
Life.
one of the founding members.
Do you also acknowledge that you committed an aggravated assault as alleged in count 1 of this indictment by brandishing a gun at an undercover police officer that was surveilling a vehicle that was hijacked from a woman?
Yes.
Do you acknowledge that in October of 2014, you were arrested with a red bandana and you were observed with a YSL tattoo and a Cleveland Avenue Rock Crew tattoo, amongst other tattoos?
Yes.
Do you also acknowledge in that same incident when you were asked by law enforcement about your Rock Crew and your YSL tattoos, that you truthfully advised law enforcement that you were a member of a gang called Rock Crew, but that group is no longer going by that name and now goes by YSL, which originally stood for Young Slime Life?
Yes.
Did you also in that same
So this nigga was snitching before he was snitching. So they was called a Rock Crew, so that means that they were selling dope, they were selling rocks and shit, but they no longer go by that shit. They go by YSL now, Young Slime Life. So he was snitching before he was snitching. When he initially got caught, how could Thug be so fucking dumb to put your trust in a nigga that he got caught on some simple shit and was fucking snitching? They doing stupid shit. He got caught brandishing a gun at an undercover officer while he was in a stolen vehicle. This nigga is known for robbing bitches. He robbed females, and Thug rapped about it. And Thug instead of Young Thug on jail is his own dumb ass fault. Because he got a whole bunch of snitch ass niggas around him that do stupid shit, but don't want to go to jail for it. You know what I'm saying? So they going to snitch on his ass.
Conversation, advised law enforcement that YSL originally stood for Young Slime Life, but the group began calling itself Young Successful Lifestyle after Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, signed a record deal.
Yes.
Do you also acknowledge that the statements made to police about Rock Crew and YSL, as reflected in sections 3 and 4 above, which I just mentioned, are true and accurate?
Yeah.
You acknowledge
he just agreed they was going by Young Slime Life before Thug got a record label. Then before Thug got a deal. Then when Thug got a deal, they was going by Young Successful Lifestyle. So why they not being tried for Young Successful Lifestyle? Why they being tried for Young Slime Life? Not understanding it. Maybe Young Successful Lifestyle sound too motherfucking positive to indict them for a RICO charge. You say I'm 35 now, so I wouldn't get no yams till I'm 70. I'm just saying, like, who gives a fuck? Like, if you did the crime, motherfucker, do the time. Stop snitching on other niggas to get them to do the time with you or more time than you.
Acknowledge that you've been accused of and arrested for robbing women.
Yes.
You acknowledge that you are the same person referred to as Tick in the song by Young Thug entitled You, in the verse, She Getting Robbed by Tick.
Yes.
You also acknowledge that on February 4th, 2021, you participated in a group chat with fellow YSL founder Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, and YSL associates Wooney Lee, aka Slime Life Shorty, wherein Jeffrey Williams stated, YSL rule the world, kid. Y'all just start bringing me the money. Man, y'all stop playing with me. Do you acknowledge that?
Yes.
Do you acknowledge that on May 13, 2021, you participated in another group chat with fellow YSL founder Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, and YSL associates Martinez Arnold, Miles Farley, Quantavious Greer, Antonio Sumlin, Wooney Lee, wherein Jeffrey Williams asked, y'all ain't beat him up or shot him yet? Then states, y'all getting soft.
Yes.
Do you acknowledge that the gang?
Hold on, wait a minute. So I know this nigga ain't still had these text messages in his phone. I know they ain't still got the text messages in the phone. Where this nigga got Thug action, y'all ain't beat him up or shot him yet. Y'all must be getting soft. This nigga actually got the text messages in his phone? Because how they know he in the group message with Thug and getting all his fucking messages?
Gas station at 151 Cleveland Avenue is a location where YSL associates sell drugs.
Yes.
That also the gas station at 221 Cleveland Avenue is a location where YSL associates sell drugs.
Yes.
And also, do you acknowledge that you cannot truthfully assert that anyone charged in this indictment is not guilty of the crimes as alleged in this indictment, and you will not make any attempt at trial, prior to trial, or after trial to exonerate or exculpate anyone charged in this indictment of the crimes alleged in this indictment, nor will you claim that anyone on this indictment is not guilty of the crimes as charged in this indictment?
Yes.
Do you also
agree after taking his charges that even when he take his charges and say he guilty and get whatever punishment, that he won't help another motherfucker get out of some charges?
Acknowledge that if you violate the plea agreement, the district attorney can and will use a statement during any judicial proceeding?
Yes.
You also understand and acknowledge that if you violate any portion of this plea agreement before, during, or after the initial trial of this case, you are subject to having the entirety of your sentence revoked.
Yes.
And you could be sentenced to prison.
Yes.
Do you also understand if you violate any terms of this plea agreement, it will result in your sentence being revoked, and the district attorney will recommend that you serve up to the maximum sentence allowed by law in the Georgia Department of Corrections?
Yes.
Do you also understand fully that if prior to the conclusion of the initial trial of this case, that you fail or refuse to testify to any fact that you now acknowledge in this plea agreement, such failure or refusal constitutes a violation of this plea agreement, and you'll be subject to being sentenced to serve the remainder of your sentence confined within the Georgia Department of Corrections?
Yes.
Do you also acknowledge that no promises, agreements, or conditions have been made other than those set forth in this document, and none will be entered into unless memorialized in writing and signed by all parties?
Yes.
And did you, along with your attorney, sign this document and dated today's date, December 29th, 2022?
Yes.
And that's your signature here?
Yes.
He looking serious as hell in the face.
Do you understand that this plea may be used in enhanced sentencing on other convictions in this jurisdiction as well as in other jurisdictions, including the federal courts?
Yes.
Do you understand if you are currently on probation or parole?
What is the cameraman on? Is this the same drunk ass cameraman from yesterday?
Your probation or parole may be revoked based on your entering a guilty plea today.
What on it?
Well, all they have to say that you're probation.
Now this is what I'm talking about. This nigga here asking questions like, hold up, wait a minute, what she mean? I like that shit. This nigga like, hold up, wait a minute, what you mean? Hold up.
May be used in enhanced sentencing on other convictions in this jurisdiction as well as in other jurisdictions, including the federal courts.
Yes.
Do you understand if you are currently on probation or parole, your probation or parole may be revoked based on your entering a guilty plea today?
What on it?
He said, where that one at? That nigga said, are you aware if you on probation or parole that your probation or parole can be revoked on your entering a guilty plea today? That nigga said, where that one at? He read that paperwork. So Ted, I guess he ain't as slow as the last nigga. He read that shit like, wait a minute, hold up. He don't understand that he not on probation or parole for the charges that he pleading guilty to right now. He don't understand that. He thinking that if he on probation or parole for anything else, that shit being revoked.
Well, all they have to say that you're probation.
Why they ain't in the paper though?
The nigga said why they. She said, hey, he said why they ain't in the paper though. That's what I'm talking about. My nigga said, she said for the law they have to say that if you was on probation or parole. So he said, why it ain't on the paper though? Man, look here. Man, y'all watching this shit. I did not make this shit up.
Recording
Oh, come
just
on
got
with the
better.
bullshit. YouTube, greedy bitches.
Boykin rights. That's just
I ain't.
probation.
Why that ain't in the paper though?
That's a Boykin rights.
The fucking
That's
right.
just
I ain't read that.
I ain't read that.
Can you repeat that?
Sure. I'm letting you know your rights. That's not something that's going to, I can't tell you that's something that's not going to happen. That's not something that we're asking for the court to do. But that's something that's a right that I have to read to you.
All right.
All right?
the constitutional rights. Yes. Sorry.
So I'm reading your rights now. I'm going back to reading your rights that you're giving up by entering into a plea. Do you understand that if you are currently on probation or parole, your probation or parole may be revoked based on your entering a guilty plea today?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you are placed on probation of any kind, you cannot violate any criminal laws of any governmental unit or any special conditions of probation without being subject to revocation for the balance of the sentence?
Yes.
Do you understand that you are not allowed to possess or use a firearm while on probation?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you are not a United States citizen, a guilty plea conviction will affect your immigration status and will result in deportation?
Yes.
Do you understand that there may be other adverse or unfavorable consequences as a result of this guilty plea conviction, just as there would be from a conviction following a trial?
Yes.
For example, your guilty plea may affect your right to vote, your right to hold public office, your right to serve on a jury, your right to obtain a passport, your right to receive, possess, or transport a firearm, or the ability to obtain employment. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty to a felony, if you use, receive, possess, or transport a firearm, or use a firearm in a crime, you will be guilty of a felony which may carry a sentence of 1 to 15 years?
Yes.
Do you understand that you waive any and all defenses, including any mental health defenses, by entering a plea of guilty?
Yes.
Do you understand if you went to trial, that you have the right to a trial by jury, the right to see, hear, and confront witnesses called to testify against you, and the right to testify or to remain silent and not incriminate yourself?
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you are giving up the following rights? And after each right, I'm going to ask you to say yes or no if you understand, okay? You understand that you're giving up the right to a trial by jury,
Yes.
the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself,
Yes.
the right to confront witnesses against you,
Yes.
the right to assistance of counsel hired by you or to court-appointed counsel if you cannot afford an attorney at a trial of your case,
Yes.
the right to the presumption of innocence,
Yes.
the right to testify on your own behalf and to present other evidence,
Yes.
the right to subpoena witnesses and compel the production of evidence,
Yes.
the right to have the charges against you proved beyond a reasonable doubt,
Yes.
the right to appeal if convicted of these charges after a trial.
Yes.
Has anyone forced, threatened, or promised you anything to get you to enter a guilty plea?
No.
Is it your decision to waive these rights and enter a guilty plea because you're in fact guilty?
Yes.
With respect to indictment 22 SC 183572, where you're charged with one count of conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organization Act, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Is this guilty plea freely and voluntarily given with a full knowledge of the charges against you?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have only a limited right to appeal this guilty plea conviction?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have 4 years from today's date for the felony charge to file a habeas corpus petition challenging the voluntariness of this plea?
Yes.
That don't make so he got up to 4 years to challenge the violation of this plea. I mean, to challenge the outcome of this plea, but they just said, God damn it, if you don't agree with this shit or you don't testify saying such and such, nigga, you could do up to 35 years. So they trapping his dumb ass by making him thinking like, man, down the line, shoot, I could appeal this shit. Like, no, the fuck you can't.
And Your Honor, if this case were to go to trial, the state would expect to prove that the organization YSL is an enterprise, that this defendant is a part of that enterprise along with his other co-defendants.
And then, you know what I just thought about? It just hit me during this thing, bro. These black women that are trying them in this, they don't give a fuck about these men, bro, lives at all. All they're thinking about is their careers. This is a job for them. Throwing people away for life is a job for them. Listen how they read off that shit. They read that shit like a computer. You know what I'm saying? They barely even fuck up when they read the shit. Them folks don't give a fuck about these men that they reading this shit about, man. These folks just doing that shit for a check. And that just showed that no people don't even have compassion and emotion no more. That shit crazy, bro. Like maybe I'm getting old. You know what I'm saying? But people are evil as hell. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just say women because it is women that reading off these charges each and every time. You know what I'm saying? But no compassion, like no feelings or whatever, bro. Don't give a fuck about these people.
And together, on or between the 24th day of January 2013 and the 8th day of May 2022, they did unlawfully conspire to acquire, maintain, directly and indirectly, an interest in and control of United States currency and other personal property through a pattern of racketeering activity. And also, while associated with an enterprise, did unlawfully conspire to conduct and participate in, directly and indirectly, such enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. That the associates of the enterprise Young Slime Life, also known as YSL, that they did conspire to associate together with others for the common purpose of illegally obtaining money and property through a pattern of racketeering activity and conducting and participating in the enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. And in furtherance of the conspiracy, the defendants engaged in certain activities which are enumerated. Some of those activities include preserving, protecting, and enhancing the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise through acts of racketeering activity, including murder, assault, and threats of violence. Preserving, protecting, and enhancing the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise by the posting of messages, images, videos, and songs demonstrating an allegiance to the enterprise and a willingness to engage in violence on its behalf. That maintaining armed individuals ready and willing to preserve, protect, enhance the reputation.
Oh, there go a little mama from last night right there, yesterday. She was reading all the shit yesterday. Also, this the girl that was sitting down in this seat during trial yesterday. So both of these, I would say both of the women, the prosecutors. Okay, so that's oh man. Black women throwing black men to the lines.
Power and territory of the enterprise through the use of violence and obtaining money, weapons, and other property through acts of racketeering activity, including robbery, theft, and the unlawful sale and distribution of drugs. The state will also prove that YSL is a criminal street gang that started in the late 2012 in the Cleveland Avenue area of Atlanta, Georgia. That some of the founders were Jeffrey Williams, also known as Young Thug, also known as Slime, Walter Murphy, also known as DK, and this defendant, Trontavia Stevens, also known as Tick, and also known as Slug. That YSL uses a variety of identifiers, including colors, clothing, tattoos, and hand signs, as well as verbal and written identifiers. And we would show that this defendant had a tacit understanding of the enterprise and furthered the enterprise's goals with several acts. Some of those acts are from
planning a family.
You two so fucking greedy.
January of 2013, this defendant, in which he pled guilty, was accused of aggravated assault, in which on that day, an officer with the APD Police Department was working in an undercover capacity. That officer was at an apartment complex in the Cleveland Avenue area doing surveillance on a vehicle that had been hijacked by another YSL associate. While operating in that undercover capacity, Mr. Stevens came out of the apartment along with that other YSL associate and brandished his handgun at that officer. Next, we have another act, Your Honor, where Mr. Stevens has a picture of himself on social media. He has several pictures on social media. Some of those captions on the video, on the images identify YSL by using the term slime shit and actually tags Mr. Stevens with one of his former Instagram handles as Original Slime _slug. Also in January 2015, he has a drug incident that comes from 1813 Sylvan Road, in which he was found with narcotics in the vehicle. Also in one of the counts in our indictment, Your Honor, he was in a car off of Cleveland Avenue, which is in the YSL stronghold. He was in that car with a co-defendant on this indictment, Shannon Jackson, also known as Shannon Stillwell, while in the car.
Cat, that's a damn lie right there. I don't know where you heard that shit from. That's a lie.
Officers smelled the odor of marijuana. Upon the search of the vehicle, they found marijuana and a gun. At the time of finding both the gun, both him as well as Mr. Jackson were both convicted felons, and they were then charged accordingly. Your Honor, as you heard within the factual acknowledgement, he's also been engaged in conversations with other members of this indictment. We won't go back over what was said, but you also heard that through the factual acknowledgement in this case. So, Your Honor, based upon that factual synopsis and Mr. Stevens' affiliation, we will ask that the court accept his plea. Also, we would like to tender Stacey's 1 TS into evidence.
One which?
TS.
1 TF? Any objection, Ms. Gladden?
No, Your Honor.
All right, states 1 TF is admitted. Ms.
CS, Your Honor, S as in Stevens.
CS?
T as in Trontavious, S as in Stevens.
All right. Any objection, madam?
No, Your Honor.
All right, it's admitted for purpose of plea. Ms. Hilton, those facts that you elucidated for the court, those are facts that the state would have proven had the case gone to trial beyond a reasonable doubt as it pertains to Mr. Stevens?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Ms. Gladden, again, good evening, madam. Anything you want to present on Mr. Stevens' behalf?
Just briefly, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Judge, I just wanted to point out, as the court, of course, can ascertain by the fact that he was only charged in the RICO counts. He's not involved and hasn't been charged separately in any criminal activity regarding this case. It has been alleged against some other co-defendants. He had a string of issues in 2011, 12, 13. He went to prison in 2015 and has been out since end of 2018. And since then, he's been a model parolee. He's passed all of his urine screens. He's not gotten in any more trouble. In fact, they put a parole hold on him. But when they found out that this was mostly based on old crimes, and a few posts that were innocuous and some pictures, they did remove the parole hold. So I'm asking the court to accept the state's recommendation. And I just wanted to point out that he's tried to be a good citizen and do what he's supposed to do since he's been out of prison, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Stevens, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, do you have the opportunity to fully discuss the facts and circumstances of this case with your attorney, Ms. Gladden, to your satisfaction?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did she explain to you the various constitutional rights you give up by pleading guilty to your satisfaction?
Yes, Your Honor.
Those are the same rights that my prosecutor, Ms. Hilton, just set forth on the record a few minutes ago. Do you have any questions about those rights you wish to ask me?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I am holding the indictment in this case. Okay. And on page 6 of the indictment, I'm going to show you. Is this your signature on the page of this indictment above the word defendant?
Yes, sir.
All right. Before signing this indictment, did you have the opportunity to fully discuss the facts and circumstances of this indictment with your attorney, Ms. Gladden, to your satisfaction?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you need more time to discuss it with her?
No.
Okay. But before you signed it, you had an opportunity to talk with her.
Yeah.
And you don't want to talk with her about the indictment anymore?
No.
Okay, all right. I'll note the indictment's been signed and the plea has been entered. Mr. Stevens, based upon the responses that you've given during the court's inquiry, I find that your guilty plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I find a factual basis for your plea. I'm going to accept your plea as tendered and as negotiated. To count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeering Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, the court will sentence you to 10 years to serve 2 years. I'll commute that to the time you already served, with a balance of 8 years on probation, subject to the special conditions that have already been set forth on the record.
Wow.
Hey.
I'll go through those with you right now, but is that your understanding as to the base sentence?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you shall abide by each and every condition of the negotiated agreement. That's the one that you signed and Ms. Gladden signed along with the state's counsel. Remember that one?
Yes, sir.
That states that's the one as it pertains to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay? All right. You shall testify truthfully about all matters relating to this case upon which you are questioned in any trial or judicial proceedings stemming from the facts alleged in the indictment. You agree to do that, right?
Sure.
Okay. In accordance with testifying truth.
We're not finna listen to him keep on asking him the same thing. Do he understand? He fucking understand. He understand. Right now, I don't like the fact that I don't like how this judge handling this case. Like, I don't like the fact that it's not he not biased. It's like he already gathered up in his mind that everybody is guilty and whatever plea they going through or whatever plea they got going is, it's like if they say they guilty, fuck it, you guilty, nigga. I want to throw you away anyway. If y'all didn't know this judge is all these guilty pleas, all these pleas that they put in, he's the judge over this. He's gonna be the judge over this whole trial. And you said, man, how this nigga Young Thug and this to these niggas? I don't know, but these niggas dumb as hell. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Thug dumb as hell too. But this judge don't seem like he biased, bro, at all. Not to me. It seems like he don't give a fuck. Like he already got made up in his mind that they guilty. So let's check out these two niggas that didn't snitch. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see how that played out. Who didn't take the guilty plea.
Record for purposes of posterities, but she's ready to do that this time, okay?
We're ready, Michael.
Ready, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am, go right ahead.
Your Honor, as it relates to Mr. Tinquarius Mender, Mr. Mender is charged with count 1 of the indictment, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, which carries a sentence of 5 to 20 years. He's also charged with count 44 of the indictment, which is possession of a weapon by an incarcerated individual, which carries a sentence of 1 to 5 years. Count 45, possession of a telecommunication device by an incarcerated individual, which carries a sentence of 1 to 5 years. And last, count 46, which is participation in criminal street gang activity, which carries a sentence of 5 to 20 years. Mr. Mender is an ANC recidivist. The state did file a recidivist notice on December 9th of this year. If Mr. Mender was found guilty of all the counts in the indictment, he'd be looking at a maximum exposure of 50 years to serve in prison.
And now, could you explain the difference, I think, for Ms.
Damn.
Just possession
Hold on,
of-
go back there. So, damn. What the fuck he do when he can get up to 50 years in prison? He kill a motherfucker?
Is charged with count 1 of the indictment, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, which carries a sentence of 5 to 20 years. He's also charged with count 44 of the indictment, which is possession of a weapon by an incarcerated individual, which carries a sentence of 1 to 5 years. Count 45, possession of a telecommunication device by an incarcerated individual, which carries a sentence of 1 to 5 years. And last, count 46, which is participation in criminal street gang activity, which carries a sentence of 5 to 20 years. Mr. Mender is an ANC recidivist. The state did file a recidivist notice on December 9th of this year. If Mr. Mender was found guilty of all the counts in the indictment, he'd be looking at a maximum exposure of 50 years to serve in prison.
And now, could you explain the difference, I think, for Ms. I'm sure that Ms. Fagan has probably explained that to her client, but can you tell Mr., for the benefit of the record and for Mr. Mender's benefit, what potentially may happen if he were to be convicted of any of these particular counts? Like what would, under A or C?
Yes, if he's convicted of any of the counts, as an ANC recidivist, Mr. Mender, you would have to get the maximum amount on for that charge, and then whatever time the court gives you, which if was to be the maximum, you have to spend every day door to door, which means you have to spend every day in custody.
You get no good time.
No.
It's a to the door sentence.
Yes, he would get any credit for a time served.
Of course, yeah,
But
absolutely.
anything else would be a full sentence door to door.
So his max is 50 years?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and what's the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's offer for Mr. Mender as to count one is 16 years to serve one.
Shit, can't give me that money. Why would I do with it? Shit, I bet I know what to do with that motherfucker. Shit, I can handle money and power.
1 year committed to time served with a balance of 15 years on probation. The state would offer that his probation could be terminated upon successful completion of the first 10 years of this sentence, provided that he violated no provisions of the agreement or no special conditions of the agreement, and that he violates no law of the state of Georgia. As to count 44, the state's recommendation is 5 years to serve 1 year, commuted to time served with a balance to be served on probation, concurrent with count one. As to count 45, it would be 5 years to serve 1 year, commuted to time served in confinement. Commuted to time served, followed by 4 years on probation, concurrent with counts 1 and 44. And count 46 would be 16 years to serve 1 year, commuted to time served, followed by 15 years on probation, concurrent with count 1, 44, and 45. Would be the offer. Mr. Mender also is currently on another indictment, 21 SC 178250. And this case, as a part of the agreement, would run concurrent with that case whenever he resolved that other case, Your Honor.
Is that before me or before another division?
It is in this division currently, Your Honor. And that's being handled by ADA Lauren Jansen with the state.
Does he have bond on that case ending in 250?
I don't believe he has a bond on that case. No, he has a no bond status.
But on this case, he could go home today.
Correct. If he was given a bond, he would not have served any jail time on this case.
Okay.
And that offer will also conclude today, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Fagan, have you communicated that to your client in terms of is that to correctly summarize the plea agreement or the potential plea offer, I should say?
The only change was that he wasn't aware of the concurrent status for the second case. At this time, though, he still maintains a not guilty plea.
Sure.
Respectfully rejects the offer, and we announce ready for trial.
Thank you. Take this shit to trial. That nigga denied the plea, denied the offer because he didn't agree with the sit running concurrent. You know what I'm saying? And goddamn it, he said, let's take this shit to trial. He's still saying he's not guilty. I'll play that back for y'all who didn't understand what she was saying.
Ms. Fagan, have you communicated that to your client in terms of is that to correctly summarize the plea agreement or the potential plea offer, I should say?
The only change was that he wasn't aware of the concurrent status for the second case. At this time, though, he still maintains a not guilty plea.
Sure.
Respectfully rejects the offer, and we announce ready for trial.
Okay, Mr. Mender, I'll tell you and I'll tell Mr. Beebe and Mr. Stevens the same thing, okay? At this point, you have the absolute right to plead not guilty, and that's what the law will presume, and the court will, of course, instruct that you have a presumption and the presumptions and protections you enjoy as a criminal accused. You have to decide for yourselves what you want to do in this particular case, depending upon the results or the
Smile in his face. I like that shit. Smile in the motherfucking judge's face, even though you already know how calm the judge speaking, he's still trying to fucking throw you away. And the judge don't know nothing about you. All he going by is hearsay. If they ain't got no true evidence on you for nothing, some shit that you would do 5 years for, man, take that shit or fight that shit. You know what I'm saying? And he smiled in the judge's face because they ain't got shit on him.
The outcome of the trial. The only thing I would tell you, Mr. Mender, is the most, and I'm sure that Ms. Fagan, she's a very fine attorney. Seen her work. But trials, there's one thing about trials, it's uncertainty. You don't know what's going to happen. So,
man, this judge trying to talk him into taking the plea. Put him on papers for X amount of years. The judge tried to talk him into taking the plea, bro. This nigga sit here telling myself, he know that he got a verified attorney. He's seeing her work, but one thing about trials, nigga, you the judge. You control the outcome. You know what I'm saying? Man, thank you, Ted. Trying to talk him into taking the plea. Taking that plea when this man saying, nah, he want to take this shit to trial, take his chances with a jury, because they ain't got nothing on the judge trying to talk his ass to take a 15 on paper.
You got to beat 4 counts. If you don't beat them, what will happen is, under this A&C recidivist statute, I have to, under the law, sentence you to the maximum sentence.
See, bro, this is not a black man, bro. This judge is not a fucking black man. He cannot be. He cannot fucking be a black man the way he just said this shit. He trying to talk this nigga into fucking snitching on himself instead of taking it to trial and saying you got 4 counts. So that means if you're found guilty, that I have to give you the maximum. Man, no, you want to, nigga. You don't have to. You want to, bro. What the fuck? This shit crazy, man. Man, that's what I'm saying. Like, they need to take him ass outright. He got some type of vendetta or some shit against these young men, against YSL or some shit. He already got it made up in his mind that they fucking guilty before they even go to trial. They need to be taken off this case, bro, and put somebody else on this motherfucker. Because you said it telling this man, looking at your demeanor and the way you moving and the way you talking, man, you want this man. You telling him if he don't take this plea, you gonna find him. You gonna throw the book at him if you don't take this plea. That's what you saying.
I don't know what's gonna happen. So you got to beat 4 counts.
See, look at him.
If you don't beat them, what will happen is, under this A&C recidivist statute, I have to, under the law, sentence you to the maximum sentence. And then whatever I sentence you to, you serve to the door. That's not anything I have any discretion over. It's not anything because I don't like you or because of what you're being charged with. Those have nothing to do with anything. That's what the state of Georgia, the legislature, has mandated that I sentence you to. So one of the things a plea does is you know what you're getting. It caps your exposure. So, and what the state's telling you today is, if you take the plea today, this is what you're going to get, and this is what I probably sentence you to, and you're done. You got to decide that for yourself. You can't be worried.
Look, you can't be worried about. Man, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, no, I don't like this judge, bro. I don't like this judge, bro.
Attached to this indictment. You got to decide that for yourself. You can't be worried about any of these other folks that are attached to this indictment, because a plea is individual to that particular person for those particular reasons that he or she feels is the best interest to them, not anybody else. So if you want a couple minutes out to talk with Ms. Fagan about that, nobody will be the wiser. And certainly, but if you don't wish to do so, that's fine too. You'll get the fairest trial that the law demands and expects you to get. You will get that.
He won't get a fair trial. You just explained to him that he won't get a fair trial. Shout out to No Limit Meek for their donation to the cash out. So he explained the shit like he illiterate. No, he explaining to his ass why he gonna hit his ass with the maximum for not taking the plea. That's what he explaining to him.
I, as a trial judge, will make sure that occurs. But one of the things I cannot do is I can't force the state at the end of trial to pull this recidivist notice. If you get convicted, they can maintain it, and you'll serve every day of it. And Ms. Fagan can ask them to pull it, and they can say no.
And she know.
I can't.
You know what I'm saying? And she know. And I'm telling you, bro, I guarantee you this nigga got a real attorney and not no public defender. Because the judge know who she is, so that means she's a real attorney. I guarantee you she telling him we can beat this shit. Look at his face. He too confident. And she sitting there, she don't want to smile or laugh. That's why she covering her face. But she sitting there nodding her head to the judge like, we know. Like, I know. I bet you every dollar I got them out to my name, she is telling him he can beat this shit. If you want to fight it, we can beat it. That's what she's saying. If you want to fight it, we can beat it. But if you want to take a plea, we could do that too. But if you lose, this how many years you looking at? But they really don't have any evidence. This is a young white woman. I guarantee. I guarantee she telling him we can beat this shit. Now that older white woman right here in front, she ain't as confident. She ain't telling that nigga they can beat this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because he got a past history. This nigga went to jail in 2015, got out in 18. You know what I'm saying? He just got out of jail on parole. We don't even know if he got a criminal history or not. He might not even got a criminal history. This might be his first time even going to the court system. You say, I'm sure his attorney explained this to him. Right. Like, I know she telling him they can beat it. This is probably his first time going into the system.
Can't make them do that. So you got a lot to think about. So I'll give you a few more minutes to ponder that, because that is when they follow.
Man, this man said I'll give you a few more minutes to ponder. This judge want him to take this guilty plea. This judge want him to say he guilty. He do not want to go to trial. I believe they ain't got no evidence on him. That's why the judge is trying to talk him into saying he guilty, because I don't believe they got enough evidence on him.
Follow recidivist notice. That they have basically, in poker terms, they've called. Like, what do you want to do? So I'll let you think about that, and you can let me know. And if not, then we'll see you next week for trial.
We'll see you next week. We can go on trial with this shit. Look at his ready to tell ass.
Mr. Beebe, where are you?
Here, y'all. Judge, we're in a similar situation. We would reject the state's offer as provided on record, Your Honor. However,
And we're in a similar situation where we would reject the state's offer. We got another nigga saying he gonna take this shit to trial.
Mr. Beebe would ask the court if the court would hear a non-negotiated plea as to the indictment.
I would.
If that's the case, Judge, Mr. Beebe would then ask if he does not agree with Your Honor's sentence, would the court allow him to withdraw the plea and proceed to trial?
I need to think about that for just a second, okay?
Understood.
Just give me a minute, okay? But yes, that's more than fine.
Thank you.
Mr. Beebe, you got the same kind of same discussion I had with Mr. With Mr. Mender applies to you, but let me just get back with you just a second, okay? Mr. Stevens, where are you?
I'm here, Judge.
Okay, madam, are you still talking to your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm actually still exchanging text messages with the state. So
Okay, I'm gonna take a couple of minutes out and let you all continue to chat. I'm gonna just take a recess, and I'll come back in just a minute, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, you're very welcome. All right.
He's ready. You can see it in his face. He's gonna tell. Well, he like, let me out. I tell y'all forever. He look like it. He look like it, man. That shit crazy, bro. I want to know what's going on with his case right here, because they ain't said shit himself. He denied the plea, and the judge didn't even try to talk him into shit. But they got on. Is this nigga up for murder? I'm saying he got a murder charge because he got on orange, and the other nigga got on blue.
Unlock your full creative potential.
You too, greed ass. This nigga got on orange, and the other he got on blue. See what I'm saying? Like, this nigga here mother got a murder charge.
I would.
If that's the case, Judge, Mr. Beebe would was then asked if he did not.
We got to involve some time. Got to. He said, Owen Johnson definitely going to jail. Yeah, he got to have murder charges or some shit. He got to have some serious ass charges. He said, but in the back, calm as hell. Yeah, like he know they ain't got nothing on him. They ain't got shit on him, bro. They ain't got shit on him. But this upbind, I don't like this judge, bro. I really think they should be letting somebody else handle this case. But they not, because they want everybody found guilty. They want everybody to go to jail, bro. And that's crazy when you don't even know nothing about nobody. This is all a hearsay, she say, and you judging how you feel about somebody. That's why I be telling y'all, like, even though y'all listen to these rappers and you may have grown to like them based off their talent, you don't know if they've done this or done that. You know what I'm saying? So that, like, you can't really be upset if Thug go to jail for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Or if he get off on the shit. You like, it really don't, your opinion really don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know him as a person. You don't know him personally. And I feel like the judge is taking this fucking case personal. You know what I'm saying? For the simple fact that all these women, DA and prosecutor and the mayor and all that shit want them folks to go to jail. Want Thug to go to jail. I feel like this. You cut the head off, the body will fall. So if Thug go to jail for fucking murder, if he had something to do with it, that would have cut everything off. Like, the rest of these niggas wouldn't even really have no organization. None of them seem like they smart enough or got enough sense enough to run no company or nothing like that. Thirsty than a motherfucker. Blue Johnson still better talking to a lawyer. Hell yeah, because she telling him he can get out this shit. He taking that shit to trial. He saying, like, regardless of what she say or what she suggests, he's still going to trial. Like, he's still going to trial. He ain't snitching. He said he probably been waiting for this moment. I don't know. How can you be waiting for this moment? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you put yourself in a situation where you would have to wait to get caught for murder? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you put yourself in this situation? He said this case could land the DA in the judge spot, all of them using the trial to move up in their careers, which is evil to me. You know what I'm saying? That's evil shit. Even though they are here to, they have went to school to be able to judge criminals. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe they sit in the church praying about it every day, like how should they handle this situation, or getting down on their knees before every case or every hearing and asking the Lord to guide them and how should they handle this person's life. I'm pretty sure they're not doing that. They just doing what they being told to do. Lock them niggas up, make sure they don't get out. That's what they've been told to do. Yeah, that's what they trying their best to do. Like I said, they program like fucking computers, man. Motherfucker reading off all these indictment papers, all these motherfucking statutes and cases and charges and shit. And the motherfucker ain't missed a word, ain't stuttered on the word, ain't sound the word out. Like, bro, you a machine at this point. You don't have emotion. You could care less what happened to them. But hey, we reached that point, bro. I've been up here for an hour. You know what I'm saying? I brought y'all the news. You know what I'm saying? The snitching and the non-snitching. You know what I'm saying? Update of what's going on in this YSL Rico case. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you've been fucking with me, hit that thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? I'll holler at y'all when we get more information pertaining to this case or any other subject that we've been discussing in the past.